Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to today's oration session. To make this event even more special, I, I have already invited two distinguished individuals to the stage who will be chairing today's session alongside Dr. Prabhat Ranjan. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Abhishek Srivastava on this.
Good morning, everybody. The IFNR oration is one of the most prestigious oration during the IFNR Con, any IFNR Con. We started it 4 years ago. The first orator was Dr. Ashok Jori. Then was Professor R.K. Srivastava, who is also the patron member. Last year, the IFNR oration was given by Professor Jairaj Pandian. And this year, we have chosen the scientist, Professor Prabhat Ranjan, of which the introduction will be given by Professor Abhishek Srivastava. Over to you, Abhishek. And I must say that Professor Prabhat Ranjan is attending IFNR Con ever since 2013, the first IFNR Con at Lucknow. He reminded me about that today. And he has been collaborating with Professor Abhishek Srivastava for the last many years. So over to you, Abhishek.
Good morning, Professor Prabhat Ranjan. I think I know him for 15 years now, and I still remember 2010 when he was in DAKC Gandhinagar. We got a call, we're working on technology. How can we use these simple technologies to change life of people with disorder of consciousness? Actually, device, and we work on it long back. Fond memories, Professor Ranjan sir. Officially, Professor Ranjan is a PhD from University of Berkeley, California. He is currently Vice Chancellor, D.Y. Patil University in Pune. Also National Convener for the BCI Hundreds Committee from Government of India, which is a brain-computer interface. Well published, 100 publications. Area infiltration, actually he is a nuclear fusion scientist who ultimately became assistive technology and then now BCI. See how things can change. That is a nuclear scientist in a rehab conference working on AT and BCI. So you all can change and grow in our life if you follow Professor Ranjan. Many achievements, many innovative awards. Professor Ranjan, please.
Can I have the presentation? Yeah. Good morning to all of you. Thank you, Dr. Nirmal Surya, Dr. Abhishek. So the topic I've chosen is brain-computer interface for neurorehabilitation and learning. As was mentioned, I'm a nuclear fusion scientist and a futurist. I'm not an expert of neuroscience or a healthcare professional. But I've not changed my hat. I'm still a nuclear fusion scientist. Okay. I'm chairman of Bureau of Indian Standards Committee for brain-computer interface, and Dr. Nirmal Surya represents IFNR in that. The brain-computer interface work we started first time about 14 years back in 2011 in Gandhinagar at Dhirubhai Man Institute of ICT. And from 2019 onwards, my current university started working in this area. So I'll just like to mention one thing here, that I'm using my nuclear fusion scientist hat and something I'm doing medical side to develop medical isotope, radioisotope using nuclear fusion that's not being done. There's a heavy shortage worldwide. India is heavily shortage, very costly. We are working on this from 2020. We had to stop, but yesterday again we have discussed to restart this. That may be of interest to some of you. I've written a blog on how I got into disability sector. My blog site is ranjan.in. The talk, I'll first talk about how I got into assistive technology and brain-computer interface. Then I'll describe what I've done in brain-computer interface and what I'm doing. And I'll give a little bit idea about brain-computer interface, its scope, and what is being done, work around the globe, and then conclude. So initially, due to a student project, I developed a hand gesture-based environment control system to help persons with restricted finger movements. And then that was actually to make sure that if you cannot press a remote control button, you're using hand gesture, you can control things. For example, you want to operate television, if you move your hands up, the TV channel will go up, TV channel goes down, volume goes up. So by using the up, down, left, right movement, you can control the television. And then we started, users came forward with various requirements of different kinds. So we took all of that into account and started developing whatever was needed for that purpose. We focused on problem. For example, this was the first device we made. CPAL term we use from cerebral palsy because many of the users have cerebral palsy. This is called mini CPAL. Actually, it's a small device where you have to, just like you point out remote control towards the device, similarly you point this out towards the device. But we found there are many users with disability who could not turn around. So if you have air conditioner at the back side, you cannot turn around. So we made another device. I'll show you that. This is a girl, Kajol, trying this out in Ahmedabad around 2010. This girl, Parvati, 2010. Then we made another device which connected two things. So you have something in your wrist and something in the room. These are two connected by wireless communication. So you don't have to turn around. You could be sitting, something at the back will still be operating. So you could operate up to 4 equipments that you could select. You don't have to change the equipments. Same thing that is available in India, you could do it. Like the same thing in US you go, they will ask you to change the television or air conditioner. We said that we'll do reverse engineering. So whatever is available in India, whatever is in your home, you don't need to change. I remember Dr. Abhishek sir also telling me that something we had done in say 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees was available in US for 2 lakh rupees. So we made sure that within India, whatever is there, whatever in your home is possible. This guy, Parth, is using this in Ahmedabad. These 2 boys, Sumit and Rohit, using in Delhi. We received awards and also some funding from government and also IBM. We have a fund. We have a school in Patna, actually, for my family-run school, where I saw this slogan, count the ability, not the disability. Focus on the positive part of the person, not the negative part. So basically what happens if we see somebody is not able to speak, we say that person cannot speak. But the person can do many things. Let's focus on what the person can do. So I took this slogan, I said that, let me take the ability of person, whatever the person can do. So left side, what you see here is the ability of person. It could be hand movement, leg movement, head movement, voice, eye movement or eye blink, facial expressions, conscious thought, muscle movement, and so on. Right side is technology of different kinds. What you see green dots, that means we made it, gave it to user. Yellow means we did in the lab, but did not give to user, and white means work had to be done. This is, of course, an old story, and many things have changed since then. And then what you do, you take the ability of the person, use the technology, and get them to do what they want to do. For example, we started with light, fan, television, computer. Somebody is non-verbal, you can make them speak, operate a wheelchair. People wanted to be able to open door of a room, or a gate of a house, or a geyser, or a water tap, or even simple electrical machinery. We said that we'll make it possible that anything you want to do, you take the ability of the person, use technology, and make them do whatever they want to do. And through this, if you look at the technology part here, there are 3 places where BCI is mentioned. So eye movement or eye blink, facial expression, conscious thought, BCI is mentioned. That's how I got into brain-computer interface. Actually, there's another story behind that. I'll not go into that. It was a mistake of a journalist who wrote my gesture-based device as a thought-based device. Vicharon se chalne wali upkaran instead of isaron se chalne wali upkaran. So that triggered thought in me that let me prove him right. This was in 2010, and then I started working on that. 2011, I demonstrated this device. We used that for developing systems around this. So around 2010-11, when I started working this, a neuro headset was being developed, which had combined new technologies to make it very easy to use outside of hospital medical colleges, in homes and schools. I'm not going into details of these, but these are wireless devices. I'll show you that. And they would actually process the signals on the device itself and then transmit in real time almost. This was actually being developed more for playing games than for any other purpose. But the games market is much larger. The cost of devices came down quite a bit. The first device I purchased was about $300. That was around 2011. 2010, it was developed. It was only available in US and Canada, and I was after it. May 2011, I got the thing in my hand, and then I worked on it. So what happened was that probing brain came out of labs and hospitals into people like my hand, and you don't require expensive devices. So you can see, for example, this is an old picture. So what we typically would see in the left top part in hospitals and so medical colleges, but these other things are all available to any one of us who wants. For example, you see this lady wearing something look like a fashion equipment. It's actually is measuring EEG waves. So I've been using this device, what you see in the left bottom, emotive device, and there are others also available. Now market is flooded with these. Let me come to what I've been doing in work, brain-computer interface. So first time on July 1st, 2011, I demonstrated, I was in Gandhi at that time, that using my facial expressions, my smile, my eye blink, I can control things in the room. So I demonstrated I could control a light bulb using this. This is a demonstration that was happening. The two of these engineers working with me, and one student was there. And this is there on social media also. I shared this. 2012 February, one of the schools in Patna, we were trying this out to look at how we can help children. So this is a talk from there. The first very interesting case came in 2011. Actually, we came across a gentleman called Mr. Suresh Karat. I'm Ahmedabad MBA. He had a brainstem stroke in 1999 at the age of 32. And then he went into locked-in condition, no hand movement, no leg movement, no voice. He can hear and see. But he could only communicate through blink of his eyes and slight movement of his head. So for example, if he has to go to washroom, he'll turn his head and blink his eyes, so his wife will understand that he has to go to washroom. So with that condition, he was there for about 13 years. In 2012, we provided a brain-computer-based device to change his life. In fact, his wife wrote to me that you have given him a second life. What we had done, I'll show you. So what we did was, using this device, which also has a gyro sensor, it tracks the head movement. So when the person is moving his head left, right, up, down, the mouse cursor on the computer is mapped to that. So when I move my head left, right, up, down, mouse cursor on the computer is being controlled by that as well. And then we captured eye blink and convert that to left mouse click. Now, normally, when you have eye blink, you have a natural eye blink. So how does it distinguish between the two eye blinks, natural and what you do intentional? So there's a time difference. The natural eye blinks are much faster. When you do it intentionally, it's a little slower. So we filter out very fast eye blinks, then use that to operate left mouse click. We could do something else also. So basically, normally when you use a mouse, a computer mouse, actually, whatever you're doing is being done through your head now. And we provide him with an on-screen keyboard. And then what he does is that he selects the letter he wants to type and he blinks his eyes. Show you a video from that. So this is the first time he's trying it out. So this is on-screen with the video not he's trying it out first time after 13 years. He's trying to focus on a particular letter. And you know what he's trying to write first time in his life after 13 years? The wife's name. Just he sort of writing those 4 letters. So he's totally dependent on her. He selects J, he types J, and so on. And it completes, but it took him 4 minutes, 354 minutes to finish the J. But he could do it successfully. Next day, we showed him how to control the light bulb. So on the left, bottom left, you see there's a bulb. We put it on by the blink, we put it off his blink, and you notice a smile on his face. When you go towards the end of the video, he watches it laughter like a child. Because something was very ordinary for us, he found it so much invigorating. Then on his birthday on 6th April 2012, I got him to type through this and speak through this. So basically, whatever he types gets converted to speech, so he can communicate through speech. I'll skip the things because short of time. Now, recently I came across this news, so I thought I'll share with this. The paralyzed woman who could not speak for more than 20 years, with the use of artificial intelligence, now she can just by thinking. So what is being done in this case is that something is embedded in her brain, and then AI is capturing the signal and making her speak as if whatever it's capturing. Now, see the difference between these two. Of course, this is a better device, but it needs surgery to be done to implant something inside, capture all of this, and then make them possible. Look at the other device, what we've done in 2012. Now, no invasive thing required. very simple thing, you still make the person speak. Okay? So now, this is being covered worldwide. That is not being covered worldwide. But that was done long back. But you see, actually, we don't need to. You can't have embedded thing everywhere. It's very difficult. Surgery, everything is done. Of course, certain cases required, and more I will share more. But I just wanted to show you the difference. With Dr. Abhishek Srivastava's help, actually, there's a lady, Charu Khandal, Ravan movie animator. This is Koklaban Hospital, only in 2012. We helped her out a little bit. Unfortunately, we lost her in 2017 due to viral infection. I had just met in Jaipur just a few months before that. This is a picture from, I think, AIMS Hospital when we were trying to help her out with a customized wheelchair. There's another gentleman in Koklaban Hospital, gentleman in Hyderabad, this boy from Garhwa, met me in Patna actually, and this boy Hitans with dystonic cerebral palsy in Mumbai. So we have been trying to use this for various people. What we have been using is this emotive epoch device. This is a 14-channel EEG divided in two halves. And actually, it does not require any gel. You use saline solution, so it's easier to use. And you can capture the EEG waves, and it communicates through wireless communication. So no wires hanging. It can be worn in class. It can be worn anywhere else as well. It shows you the quality of contact. So if all are green, it's very good. At least 14 out of 14, maybe 12 should be green for a good signal. Then there are software suites that are there. So actually, one is to capture the facial expressions. Other is to capture certain emotions. And third is certain cognitive thoughts. Okay? And these are mostly from motor cortex region. So you could relate it to motor movements. Up to 4 different such movements you can capture for which you have to train the thing. So if you're thinking that something is turning left or right and so on, if you train it, actually you can drive a car or fly a drone or operate a wheelchair and so on. So we mostly use the first one, and we also use the second one. Third one, we are trying to use it now. Now, I moved to this university, D.Y. Patil International University, 2018. I'm the founder, vice chancellor. So 2019, we started PhD program, and we started to work on this. So using brain computers, what we are trying to do right now is focus on learning as well as neuro-rehabilitation. So one is to improve multiple intelligence among children and use this to improve their learning process and career choices. I'll talk about this. Then to identify concentration level among the children and use neuroplasticities to improve their conditions like ADHD and so on. And then we're also working on neuro-rehabilitation for disorder of consciousness. First work is related to multiple intelligence. So according to Professor Howard Gardner, this was done by one of my researchers, Vijay Lakshmi. So each human being has 8 to 9 different kind of intelligences. And normally, if we can identify that, we can learn what should be we can understand what should be the career choice. For example, you want to be good in computer science, your logical intelligence should be higher. You want to be a good communicator, your verbal intelligence should be higher, and so on and so forth. You want to be Lata Mangeshkar, your musical intelligence should be higher. And sometimes you have many of these, so you can combine this together. For example, your musical intelligence and bodily movement, or kinesthetic as it's called. If you're a dancer, your musical thing and bodily should be there together. So you could combine both of them. Or for a sports person, bodily should be higher. So if we identify this, now it was being done through interest of the person. We said we'll capture the brain activity and use that to objectively identify which of these are higher. So we can get a quantitative answer for this. Now, normally, people had done this work for only 2 to 3 different intelligences. We tried to cover 5 different intelligences, covering logical, musical, existential, visual, and verbal. And what we do is that basically we give them certain activity and look at the brain, how it is responding to that, and based on that, we analyze that to identify this part. Other work we are doing with children with ADHD. Now, what we find is that large number of children who have ADHD also have some other disorders as well at the same time. Out of that, if you look at autistic disorder, ASD, there's quite significant numbers of them. So we have focused on ADHD, pure ADHD, ADHD with minor ASD, and with more part of ASD as well. Here we're using brainwave entrainment. We're actually, through audio stimulus, we give 2 different sound waves into different ears. For example, you give 500 hertz in one ear, 510 hertz in the other ear. So 10 hertz difference, the beat wave that is created is what influences the brain wave. So if you want to put the person to sleep, I will give something which is in the delta wave, 0.5 to 4 hertz range. We want to improve their learning and focus, we give other things, and also combination of those. I'm not going to those details. So Sweta has been working with this with me. So we use binaural beats and difference of frequency used. We have connected to various agencies and schools and clinics and so on. Early results that we see is that in 63% of cases of ADHD, we are able to improve. In 31% cases, ADHD is minor ASD, we are able to improve. But when the ASD is a larger component, we don't see much improvement. Very small percentage we see. This is a similar result that we have seen in China also. There's another work going with Manasa with me, where actually we use both audio and visual stimulus at the same time. We try to influence using audio and visual stimulus at the same time, use a AR/VR device for visual stimulus. And in this case, we are again, what we do is that we do this experiment for 20 days. We do 15 minutes trial every day. And we are seeing improvements in this as well. So we have seen significant reduction in theta and improvement in beta and band power after 20 days of these sessions. And again, not going to details of these. And then we have also taken, so we went to children in certain age group, and of course our university students also picked up. They are the easy, easy to get because they're in the university. So we also taken undergraduate students as well. Let me come to the disorder of consciousness part. And this I've been trying for last 12 years or so, 12, 13 years. Not been really successful. There's one researcher working on this. Raji is working on this. I think 2 years back in Mumbai, we had organized a workshop on this. We had my researchers also demonstrate. This was the first thing I was trying in 2012. Left man, the gentleman, the Sardarji there is from AIMS, forgetting his name now. There was a patient there. Right side is in Hyderabad. We're trying this out. What we do is we capture three-dimensional brain activity in real time. And then we ask them to imagine certain scenarios. And those scenarios should create different patterns, brainwave patterns. And then if we can identify, we can ask the person, and if they're able to, their audio capability is good, typically in MCS state it happens, then what we'll tell them that imagine scene 1, and we see a brain pattern, and then we say imagine scene 2, and we see another brain pattern. And if it is consistent, then we tell them that if you want to communicate yes, imagine scene 1, you want to communicate no, imagine scene 2. So we pick up this information and then ask them questions and identify whether they are able to communicate yes or no correctly. If we establish yes or no, the communication is established. This work was done with using other machines, but what we are trying to do is using simple EEG-based machines. Few work have been reported in last 12, 15 years. So, okay. So this work, we are still trying it out, and I think we'll need help of medical professionals from your side to actually identify users who could be useful for such trials, because we don't come across them in normal life. So we are testing the device with healthy subjects. Once we establish this, then we have to go out to those users who can fit into this case for trying it out. And you can, as you understand that how much difference it makes in life of a person if you can just communicate yes and no. History of BCI, I'm not going into more details of this, but it's been there for more than 50 years. I'll skip this part. But basically, if I want to divide BCI, it can be done in two ways. One is passive BCI versus active BCI, and hybrid, of course. Other is by nature of invasiveness. Non-invasive BCI, something which I do because I'm not in medical college hospital. And then invasive BCI, where you implant things. And there's something also I'll show about minimally invasive BCI, and of course hybrid systems are there as well. Non-invasive BCI is like what I am doing, can be used through EEG, MEG, and so on. And this can, and the invasive BCI is where you might have heard of Neuralink, and I will talk about Synchron and so on. We're actually embedding something inside the brain. And there are hybrid systems as well. So BCI uses, it can be used for computer cursors, as I have showed you, virtual keyboards, augmentative and alternative access systems, prosthetic devices, wheelchairs, entertainment, gaming, internet browsing, and painting, and so on. All of this can be done using BCI. Similarly, for persons with disability in ALS, multiple sclerosis, brainstem stroke, muscular, all of these conditions also we can use this. Okay. Now, I'll share some information from work around the globe. This talks about restoring cortical control of functional movement in a human with quadriplegia. For example, this gentleman, he could move his wrist using this. And so basically what we capture the signal from brain, we connect to computer and provide the signal to the wrist of the person. And this way you can see that he is able to control his hands with the wrist is up now, it is going down. So there's a video that actually he can move this using this system, so he bypasses the natural body system. This is a BrainGate device. This gentleman in 2017 was able to operate arm in his wheelchair. Elon Musk Neuralink, you must be hearing quite a bit about this, which has been going on and it's quite popular. I'm not aware of exactly what is the latest situation. But in this, actually, you are doing surgery, implanting chipsets inside this, which are connected. There are a number of them. They're connected together. And then it connects to outside system like a smartphone and so on. But more than this, something else is more interesting from your point of view. This particular device from a company called Synchron, it's called a stent rod, is something that requires minimal invasive process. So just like angioplasty, this device is implanted through blood vessel at the bottom of the neck and maneuvered to the brain. So it takes about 2 hours to implant this device, no surgery to be done. You implant this device inside. So it designed to detect and wirelessly transmit motor intent out of the brain and intended to restore the capability for severely paralyzed people to control personal devices with hands-free point and click. So they have done the first FDA-approved investigational device exemption, I don't know these terms, trial of a permanently implanted BCI on 6 patients successfully. This was just done recently, last 2 years. This is the kind of thing that is implanted inside through the vessels. I'll just show a video.
Stentrode is a small stent-mounted electrode array permanently implanted into a blood vessel in the brain, without the need for open brain surgery. It is in clinical trials as a brain-computer interface, BCI, for people with paralyzed or missing limbs, who will use their neural signals or...
So this you can understand better. So it's basically without any surgery, it is implanted inside the brain and the upper region, and it captures signals from there and wirelessly communicates to outside world. Okay. Graham was the first one who tried this out. Second person, Philip, tried. So now they are able to use computers and other things using this. Then what we do is that you can do many things. For example, motor function reconstruction. In biorobots you can make. You can do intelligent peripheral control and so on using this. Now, in 3-4 years back, International Standards Organization, at the request of China, started to work on standardization process of brain-computer interface. I was requested to represent India in that. First meeting when we had actually 15, 16 people, mostly Chinese, dominated by Chinese people, and there's one lady Korean I can see, and one American. So one Indian, one American, one Korean, and rest Chinese were there. So they started this whole thing on China as request. It was an advisory committee to start with. Now it has become a standardization committee. In India, we have a shadow committee for this, actually, which is called SC 37, Bureau of Indian Standards, SC 37. I chair that committee. Dr. Nirmal Surya represents IFNR in this, and we have other people working in this area as part of this. Some of you may be working in this area or may have interest. You can join this as well. I was just now in Korea for this in March first week. We have two committees conveners are from India right now. And we want more use cases in this area to be given, which becomes part of the standardization process. Next one we are hosting in India actually in September. Okay. So to end my talk, both invasive and non-invasive BCI is playing a very important role for rehabilitation. And what we are expecting that BCI may become more pervasive than pacemakers. And reason why China is pushing this so they can standardize and make sure that their country's interest is taken into account, because this is going to be a big commercialization happening. And BCI along with other sensors can provide economic solutions for ASC, environment control, wheelchair and so on. Where we lack in India is this interdisciplinary collaboration. Okay. I'm an odd man out, but otherwise mostly you'll see people who are not, I mean, very few people here are for non-medical field. But this is where actually things happen. When you combine together from people from different disciplines, that's where, so we need to have academia medical collaboration. Some of this is happening. I'm not saying that it's not happening at all. So let's stop at this point. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
We will stand and give an oration to Professor.
Thank you.
Prabhat
Thank you so much.
Ranjan.
Thank you.
I think it is a fitting stimulation to many of our young IFNR members. And I must say you that IFNR is one platform where engineer, IIT, all are member. And we have 2 or 3 people, group which are representing here. And I'm sure they would have taken points from you and would like to introduce you further about developing BCI. IFNR has been, I must frankly say that Professor Prabhat Ranjan has pushed IFNR into this, and I know nothing about technology of either the IIT or engineer, but I'm really learning from these guys that how the thing can, and as he mentioned, China, Korea, they're real champion. So we need to reach there, and I'm sure we all will do that. Thank you very much, sir, and it is a great honor. I must say that Professor Prabhat Ranjan is honorary member of IFNR, and great honor for us to felicitate you on this IFNR oration at Ludhiana. I'll request Abhishek also to come over here.